Up on this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Man, what a Pro Wrestling Show we have for you on the SmackDown Ring Report. Jey Uso faces the consequences of his Hell in a Cell confrontation with his cousin. He didn't quite shortcome win the Universal title, but he now has to face the consequences that laid out by his cousin Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion. What are those consequences? We just have to find out and see. And on the Raw Ring Report, newly crowned WWE Champion Randy Orton has been in a rock and a hard place after he won his Hell in a Cell match against Drew McIntyre. Now Drew going to get revenge on Randy and win back the WWE Championship. And no longer with Randy Orton, an old friend resurfaces, The Fiend, who could be a possible contender down the road with Randy Orton. The Fiend, Randy Orton, has that history. Also on the NXT Ring Report, NXT brings back the theme classic Halloween Havoc, the WCW pay-per-view back annually in October. Now NXT has the rights. NXT uses the fame, spin the wheel, make the deal. Sasha Black was the host. We'll talk about that and that extravaganza of that. And the AEW report. AEW continue on with the World Title Tournament. Who's gonna be in the finals in the World Title Tournament? Also, FTR, Cody, that lumberjack match between him and Otis Cassidy, and many more. And on Hot Topics, man, what Hot Topics we have for you as multiple screaming superstars when WWE has the screaming sites, where the superstars are being forced by WWE to rig those streaming sites and get with the new relaunch WWE streaming site. We'll talk about that and what's going on with that, and a bunch more. And Miss McMahon Netflix documentary. All of this and more in the Pro Wrestling Show begins right now. Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Ken Dix here. Glad you can join us in the Pro Wrestling Show. Like I said, it's been a wild week. This is the last week of October. Well, it was last week, October. Now it's November 1st. The Pro Wrestling Show has you covered on everything. We care about wrestling. Wrestling matters. That's what our forte is. But first things first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget, as always, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, Ms. Kim. Tell a friend, call a friend, subscribe. If you're a true friend of the Pro Wrestling Show, we make weekly content for you. Hit that subscribe button. You won't miss a thing. I'm telling you right now, you won't miss a thing. You won't miss a thing. All right, let's get to it. We're going to do something real different. We're going to do the SmackDown report. All right, on the SmackDown report this week, SmackDown kicked off with Jey Uso facing the consequences of past Sunday, where Jey really didn't want to lose to Roman, but Roman gave him that ultimatum that if you lost to me, you must face the consequences. You must fall in line, or else your whole family gets shunned. Your wife, your kids, your grandkids, if you even have grandkids, they all get shunned. So Jey was reluctant, but he did it. And Roman told him that from now on, you're going to take orders from me. When I want you to do something, you better do it. And it's kind of, you know what I'm about to say, it's kind of messed up. Because when you think about it, it's like Jey put his whole pride to the side. He wanted to show that he was his own man, and he did. It's unfortunate what happened, but like Roman said, you got to fall in line, and you got to, whether you like it or not, which I feel like Jey had a chance, but they didn't want to give Jey the ball. So, Jey did his best. He didn't want his brother to get hurt. His brother was almost at his limb, and all of a sudden Jey would tried to say I quit. He didn't want to say it, but he had to say it. So it's messed up, but you know how that go. Speaking of that, was a SmackDown match for being on Team SmackDown. Well, we had Kevin Owens. Who did KO face? He fought somebody. I forgot who KO faced, but y'all know who I'm talking about. KO. He fought somebody. I think he's added to Team SmackDown. Who did KO face? KO faced somebody. And also Bianca Belair was in action as well. Her, Natalya, and Billie Kay. And Bianca Belair came on top of that, using her power moves and stuff. So Bianca Belair is a good hand for Team SmackDown. So Bianca Belair is going to bring her strength, her power. She's going to be the EST of Survivor Series? We have to see and find out. So you know how they go. Also, I think the tag team champions was in action this week. Yeah, they was in action this week. Let me see. We trying to see, like, normally I have it like set and ready for you, but the Street Profits, they was in action against Nakamura and no. Kevin Owens, I think he went against Bobby Roode, if I'm not mistaken. Kevin Owens went against Bobby Roode, I think, yeah. So Kevin Owens went against Bobby Roode, and Kevin Owens did his thing. He was the one that went against Bobby Roode, and now he's added to Team SmackDown. Also, told you Bianca Belair stuff. Kevin Owens went against Dolph Ziggler. Okay, Dolph Ziggler for a qualified match. I knew he was somebody. And then Corey Graves interviewed Lars Sullivan. That was a weird, uncomfortable interview for Corey Graves. He interviewed Lars Sullivan and asked Lars Sullivan why he called a freak. Lars elaborated and said that he is a freak because people made fun of him, and he feels like punishment is his only pleasure to get back at people. So he caused pain to him, which I understand. Also, the newly crowned SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks celebrated in the ring. Sasha did a celebration until Bayley interrupted. Bayley said that she is owed a rematch, so next week is going to be a rematch between Bayley and Sasha. Bayley feels confident that she can defeat Sasha after many people have when Sasha puts her title on the line, gets her first title defense, she loses it. So Bayley feels confident that she can be the one that continue on that streak, or could Sasha be the one to break that streak off? We'll see. Also, there's been a budding love story between Murphy and Leah. Well, Murphy wanted to apologize to Rey Mysterio with Leah. Rey and Dominic wasn't buying it. And Mysterio's attacked Murphy. Seth Rollins got involved, made matters worse. Seth Rollins talking about Leah and Murphy. And a lot of people are believing that this is a orchestrated plan by Rollins and Murphy to get at Leah's heart. If this might be the truth, that both of them sick. Playing with a naive girl like that. And then Murphy started kissing Aaliyah because Ray wanted Aaliyah to come with him. Leah was trying to be defiant and said, "I'm not coming with you." So we had to see on that what this gonna lead to in the road in the future. Trying to see, it was the main event between Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan. The winner would be added to the Team Survivor Series for SmackDown. Well, Jey didn't want to do it. Jey and Daniel Bryan had a good physical matchup. Daniel Bryan, he said he's almost at his last leg, being a full-timer. I don't think it was just the right way to write him off. Jey won his match by hitting the splash. Roman Reigns came into the ring, and told Jey what he needed to do. Jey was reluctant at first. Jey didn't want to do it, but Jey ended up doing it. And Jey did it. He felt a little bit better and felt at ease. And I'm thinking, like, what is going on? Jey felt in place, in line. So coming forward, you're gonna see Jay being reluctant, the Usos being reluctant, but then they're gonna fall in line. So look for that in the coming weeks. So that ends the Raw ring report, the SmackDown ring report. Let's move over to the AEW ring report. This is new and different for a site. All right, on AEW this week, on AEW was the world title eliminator between Adam Page, Hangman Page versus Wardlow. It was back and forth. Wardlow, they did a promo piece on him on the road to Wardlow, talking about his life story. Adam Page talking about why he wants to be the world champion. This was advanced to the finals. At the end, Page advanced. Wardlow didn't. So we'll see on that. Also, it took 2 push out up. Also, no one contender for the world title, Eddie Kingston versus Matt Sydal. Kingston and Sydal battled it out back and forth, but at the end, Kingston used that lockjaw, stealing Moxley move, trying to use against, like, he's a good submission specialist. We'll see between them two for the world title at Full Gear. Also, be mentioned that the Pro Wrestling Show will present the predicted outcome for Full Gear next week. Also, the Young Bucks went against FTR in a face-to-face where the Young Bucks talked about FTR being the greatest tag team. FTR using their Jim Cornette slang, where Jim Cornette thinks of the Bucks and stuff. And they didn't like that, and then the Bucks made a decree that if they don't win the tag team titles, they will never challenge for the tag team titles, never again. That's a huge degree. I'm telling you right there. Also, the town hall began where MJF and Chris Jericho had that crazy ass la da dinner, or whatever you want to call it. So Chris Jericho decided that he wanted to do a town hall. Jericho brought anybody from the AEW roster to ask. Everybody started asking until Eric Bischoff made another appearance on Dynamite. Bischoff gave privy to the answers to ask Jericho the questions like, hey, do you think you and Jericho, MJF think you and Jericho will get along? And that was a fair, honest question. And then saying, there's some John F. Kennedy stuff where, what can you do with your country that your country has done? What can you do for the inner circle? What can you bring to the inner circle? And MJF had questions, friendship, championships and stuff. So look for that. Also was another match where the TNT title was on line. Cody versus Orange Cassidy, lumberjack match. It was bar none, but at the end Cody won. Cody will get to meet Darby Allin one-on-one at Full Gear for the TNT title. Also, another match for the world title eliminator. Kenny Omega went to get Peter Gunn. Kenny Omega won. So it's gonna be Omega versus Hangman Page for the world. Number one contender for the world title. So I'll tell you next week who I believe going to be number one contender for the world title, and you'll be shocked to hear who could it be. And what else? Something else happened. All right, that's it. All right, that ends the AEW ring report. When we return, we'll have the Raw ring report, the SmackDown ring report later on. Not the SmackDown, but the NXT ring report later on. I can get my tongue tied. But coming up next will be the hot topics as we talk about WWE forcing their superstars to cancel some of their Twitch accounts. And one superstar in particular, P.O. pissed off. And a lot of other superstars think about this whole new change in the system. And also Netflix trying to strike a deal with WWE to air a documentary series on the chairman of the board, Mr. McMahon. We'll have this some more. Pro Wrestling Show continues in a minute. Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Ken Diggs here. Glad you can join us back on the Pro Wrestling Show. Like I said, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is care. Tell a friend, call a friend, subscribe. Alright, let's get to hot topics. Alright, hot topics this week. Now, there's been a lot of news going on lately with WWE trying to prevent their superstars, tell their superstars to, hey, stop your streaming accounts, your third party, you like Twitch and stuff like that. And now WWE trying to figure out a way to, there's been reports like they want to do a relaunch on their Twitch account, so those same stars have their own Twitch channels compare on the WWE Twitch channels. Which, you think about it, I look at it like both sides. Like, I get WWE's perspective. You work for us, you gotta fall in line, you wanna grow the medium with your stars that you already got. And you get the superstar side, like, hey, we built this from the ground up, and so this is what we wanna do. Well, one superstar particularly was fed up with it, and you won't believe who. Take a look. Alright, you saw right there, Paige.
Now I have to make a very important decision. I'm fucking tired, man. I broke my fucking neck twice. Twice for this company, dude. Over fucking worked. Broke my fucking neck twice for this company. I didn't realize that this community isn't just about fucking subs, dude. It isn't about that. We built such a wonderful community. A wonderful fucking family where this is an escape for a lot of people, including myself. I can't wrestle anymore. I always worked so hard in WWE that I can't wrestle anymore. My neck is fucked. My whole fucking dreams got taken away from me, dude, and I had to have something that fulfilled even that huge fucking void I lost with wrestling. A huge fucking void. I couldn't wrestle anymore. Something that I lived and breathed fucking shit wrestling since I was a fucking fetus, dude. And it got ripped away from me. And I had to find something that even filled a little bit of that. And Twitch was doing such a wonderful thing for me. It's such a wonderful place for me. But I understand if they're like, hey, if you're wrestling every day, if you're doing these shows every day and fucking you're on TV constantly, that's fine, but I'm a fucking injured wrestler. I cannot wrestle anymore. I get used for media stuff sometimes, you know? But at the end of the day, I'm in my fucking house. I'm going fucking crazy, dude. I need something to keep me fucking sane, man. And Twitch was my escape from that. Injured wrestlers, yes, can do stuff. And right now, I'm just sitting on my fucking ass. People think that I'm fucking... I had a terrible couple of years where I had fucking tapes leaked about me, where I've had fucking... I popped a couple of drug tests because I was in an abusive fucking relationship, dude. That's the only thing I could fucking do. So people think that I should fucking be thankful that I still have a fucking job, right?
Paige looked like she was upset. She felt like WWE's taking her rights because she feel like she doesn't have nothing left to give. In WWE, she says that she broke her neck for the company. She feel like being on Twitch is her freedom, her opportunity. And WWE think otherwise. Well, a former WWE superstar airs his grievances on this whole situation about Twitch, about the WWE telling their stars to stop their Twitch channels, and we're gonna do something different. Take a look.
Cesaro, Paige, a bunch of people had to shut down their Twitch and Cameo accounts. AJ Styles, he wrote, I want to thank you all for the memories on Mixer and Twitch. I will cherish these memories, and I love every one of you that made this possible and supported me. As many of you know, WWE is making some changes that involve streaming. We will see what the future holds in that regard. With that being said, I'll be suspending Styles Clash stream. This isn't goodbye, but this is see you sometime in the future. We will leave Discord open, but since it won't be monitored, we will be making changes. Paige, on the other hand, is not as agreeable. She posted a long message. The full message is on Wrestling, but I'll just I'll just get the small part. She wrote, I've honestly got to the point where I cannot deal with this company anymore. So now I have to make a very important decision. I'm effing tired, man. I broke my effing neck twice for this company over effing worked. I broke my neck twice for this company, and all I wanted was to. They don't realize that this community isn't just about effing subs. It isn't about that. It isn't about that. We built a wonderful community, a wonderful effing family where this is an escape for a lot of people, including myself. I can't wrestle anymore. I work so hard in WWE that I can't wrestle anymore. My neck is effed. My whole dream got taken away from me, dude, and I have to have something that fulfilled even a small part of that huge effing void that I lost with wrestling. A huge effing void. I couldn't wrestle anymore, something I lived, breathed, effing wrestling since I was a fetus, dude, and it got ripped away from me, and I had to find something that even filled a little bit of that. Twitch was such a wonderful thing for me. It's such a wonderful place for me. So she continued just on and on, clearly not happy. She's talked in the past about possibly unionizing, and Zelina Vega has expressed her support in that. So, this we'll see where this goes. But if Paige is being outspoken, and you get someone like a Zelina Vega, who is a current talent, I don't know. Do you see anything possibly happening?
No. There's not with the current system, and there's too many talents that won't risk what they're making. And I mean, rightfully so, with families and stuff. Why would you? It literally is. It will take everybody, and then it would also take the NXT, which people making less money, they're not going to do it. They'll jump at the chance to get up there with the fame and the money, and it's the system they've set up. I feel for Paige. I hope she doesn't sign over to them. She actually is in a really strong position. I don't even know if she realizes what she should continue to speak up. It will only garner her more attention. It will gain her more of a following over there. She already has an amazing following on Twitch. And I could say firsthand, being over there when I created the Ryback Rules account, and now in doing a little bit of gaming and stuff, man, it's a great community over there. Like, it's a lot of fun. Like, it's different than any of the other platforms, especially when you're just sitting back. If you're whether you're doing a little show directly with them or streaming and chatting, it's just a different environment. It's just more positive. It's more fun. It's more laid back. And I completely understand what she's talking about, and I sympathize with her because I understand. Same thing, lost wrestling and had to walk away, and with the injuries. And granted, I've been lucky enough and blessed enough I'm going to be able to go back. She's not at that point, and it's a very lonely. It sucks feeling, and then watching and being young still, and knowing that is this what my life is no more? This is all that I knew. And all that I know, and that's why I went the other direction of keeping myself busy. She hasn't necessarily found it yet because she works for the company, and they control a lot of your time, even though she's not being used on TV and everything with the schedule. Like, this was her outlet for right now, and I feel for her on that, and them wanting to take it over, and it's simply out of greed. And AJ is going to go along with the flow. AJ has a family, multiple kids and a wife, and he's not going to make waves over that. He's at the end of his career, probably that final stretch financially of great money where every year counts, at this point. And I'm sure he wants to keep a good relationship with them post career, as well as a lot of talent usually do, to keep that income coming into some degree. I don't know, with people speaking up, it's unfortunate.
Sorry that big guy Ryback airing his displeasure on that. So a lot going on with WWE about the Twitch channels and stuff. So I guess WWE is not the biggest, ain't everybody's fan right now. Even with Paige, Paige felt like this is her brand, this is her channel. As long as she ain't using Paige, which I understand on that, but WWE is a different monster. And I said something about Jessamine Duke saying she's not gonna give up her Twitch swing. Work for WWE. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you right now. They're gonna find a way to, they know. I don't know what the punishment, the consequence is gonna be for her, but you better stop. I'm telling you, WWE crazy. But we'll move on from there. WWE once again drops another superstar name and shortens it. The recent victim is Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle, who goes by the name Matt Riddle, will be known as Riddle. Oh my God. Riddle me this, riddle me not. No, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Matt Riddle, no. WWE got to be a little bit better. No, they go. But you know how it is with WWE. With Mustafa Ali, Buddy Murphy, Rusev, Cesaro. Some of it works, some of it don't work, but WWE just trying to figure out, you know, with one word association. My God. Speaking of that, Big E says Daniel Bryan was the one that came up with the idea for his singles run. So Big E was part of New Day. He still is part of New Day, but he's not with them in spirit. When he's on SmackDown, Kofi Kingston and Xavier on Raw. You know, doing their different singles run. But you never know. New Day will probably come back. It's just a temporary thing, and they might. But Big E's going for that, gearing up for that singles run, and we'll see what that's going to momentum go. A lot of rumors and reports that Big E may be a heavy favorite of winning the Royal Rumble in 2021. We'll see. Also, there's been rumors and reports that Thunder Rosa may be heading to WWE or AEW. Well, she's been appearing on AEW. Will she kind of get WWE's interest? There's been the reports, but NWA President Billy Corgan diffused those reports and said that Thunder Rosa is staying with the NWA until next year. While it was Billy Corgan, I just don't see it. But we had to see with the NWA what they're gonna do to get themselves back in order, because a lot of their stars are leaving them. Ricky Starks, other people. So I just don't know what they're gonna do. I just don't know. It's gonna be hard to come back. Speaking of a corporation that's trying to come back, is MLW. They hint that they're gonna hit the restart button, and they should be back coming up shortly. So, you know, hey, MLW trying to get back to their basis. We'll see. And they say they restart, come back. They're gonna move to Wednesdays and be on BN Sports and any other streaming platform. Also, the Bastard Pac set to return to AEW this Wednesday. So Pac coming back to make an announcement. We'll see on that issue. Also, Triple H, he helped out with the SmackDown creators. Triple H, the game, helped out with the last 2 SmackDown tapings. We don't know what's the, I guess the layoff work for Bruce Pritchard to slim it down. We'll see with Bruce Pritchard and all of them. Also, Braun Strowman shows off his crazy body transformation. Braun Strowman went from this to now this. I don't know what's going on with Braun, what kind of, you know what he's taking, but hey, you know what he is. Also, WWE files the term then, now, and forever. You see those signature openings, WWE use that. So WWE's trying to take advantage of that so people don't have to copy it and stuff. People been saying then, now, forever for years, so I don't know why they're trying to use that as an intellectual property. Also, Rush and Dragon Lee set to return to Ring of Honor. The brother duo, Rush, the Ring of Honor champion, and Dragon Lee, the TV champion. Contracts are coming to an end, but Ring of Honor hope they can come back due to the pandemic when they're both in Mexico. And finally, well, we got 2. We have, they said the WWE star buried already. They believe Tucker's getting buried, and he's going to get in a program with Otis. You saw that Money in the Bank thing, you would have thought, oh my God, what's going on with that? But it was poor booking on WWE part with that. They could have just kept Tucker on SmackDown. And then someone said about, can WWE make some new stars? Is this going back 10 years ago where Miz and Randy Orton, where Miz was the Money Bank holder And Randy was the current WWE champion 10 years ago. And now, 10 years later, 2020, Miz is the Money Bank holder. And Randy was the new WWE champion. It's like they're going back to the past. You got to focus on the future. What they're doing with Drew, you got to continue on that. I guess they're building stars slowly with Drew, and you got a little bit with Big E and Roman and everyone else, Jay Uso and everybody else. They also said the WWE had the COVID outbreak, so WWE be under investigation on that. And speaking of that, they said if Andrew Yang wins, if Biden wins, then Andrew Yang wants to kind of investigate that and what's going on with that, with WWE business practices. Good luck. Also, on sad news, sad note, former ECW, WCW, and WWE star Tracy Smothers passed away from lymphoma. He was known on ECW as the full-blooded Italians. He passed away at the age of 58. Our prayers and condolences are with Tracy and his friends and family at this moment, at this time. Also, Vince McMahon has set a deal with Netflix to create a documentary about his whole life. So look for Vince McMahon's docuseries to come on Netflix. It's going to be a point in time where Netflix, somebody's going to be on a streaming site. Eventually down the road, it's going to happen. I don't see why. It's going to be WWE or AEW. I'm likely to think it's going to be WWE. They're going to get the biggest money from Netflix because they got a relationship with Netflix. That's the only rest company they do. They had the movies, and don't be surprised, Raw, SmackDown, all of them be on Netflix going forward. All right, that ends the hot topics. Let's move over to the NXT Ring Report. All right, NXT Ring Report this week. NXT brought back the classic Halloween Havoc. Well, Halloween Havoc waste no time whatsoever as Johnny Gargano went against Damian Priest for the NXT North American title. It was a good match, solid match, back and forth. They went from the ring to the outside crowd and to the host there where Sasha Black hosted. Some mystery person helped helped Johnny win, and Johnny became the new NXT champion. So it's kind of weird. Speaking of Johnny's wife, Candice, we talk about her. Candice was in the match for the NXT Women's Championship against Io Shirai. You would have thought for a second that Candice was going to win it by any means necessary. Even the mystery person came out there trying to help Candice, but Candice LeRae took a nasty bump, fall off to the ladder, crashed and burned, and Io Shirai retained her championship as NXT Women's Champion. Rhea Ripley was in action against Giselle Galez. She won against her two Amazonian women, two beautiful Amazonian women attacking each other, but Rhea Ripley came off victor of that. The Cruiserweight Championship was online as well. Santos Escobar versus I forgot his name, but Santos won. And a shocking turn, Pete Dunne returned, and we thought he was going to help the Undisputed Era's what that dude name? Kyle O'Reilly against Pat McAfee and his two team, the British something. At the end, we found out Pat McAfee has an issue with the Undisputed Era, and so Pat McAfee brought Pete Dunne to come, and we thought Pete Dunne was going to help O'Reilly. He turns on, they tagged him, left him laying and stuff, and saying that Ridge Holland was here to help them out, but Ridge had his incident. So I think it's going to be a War Games match between these four gentlemen. So look for that at the next NXT pay-per-view. All right, that ends the NXT Ring Report. Let's move over to the Raw Ring Report. On the Raw Ring Report this week, we got Raw on the last bit. Kicked off with former WWE Champion Drew McIntyre speaking that he lost at Hell in a Cell. He made crucial mistake, and Randy Orton became the victor, but he's going to ultimately want his championship back. Randy Orton came out there and told Drew, you know, you'll get a championship man when I say so. Also, the New Day was in action. New Day run down the card that they're going to be meeting the Street Profits at Survivor Series. Champion versus champion, brand versus brand warfare. The best of the best. So we'll see that at Survivor Series between the two champions. Even Asuka made a pick too that she's going against Sasha Banks at Survivor Series. Also, the Hurt Business was in action. Lashley was in action. So Lashley's going to be facing Sami Zayn one-on-one. I think the Hurt Business was in action against the Retribution. And they buried Retribution. And Retribution was lady Mia Yim. She was trying to have seizures and stuff. She was in her element, that. So I don't know what's that going to go on with that. It's like they wasted that and they just making Retribution like a joke. I hate saying that, but they could have built them something with Retribution. But it just sometimes things just don't plan out the way you think it should plan out. Also, the Miz and Miz went against Drew McIntyre. Match back and forth. Drew won over Miz and sent John Morrison out. So they're building Miz, they're building Drew McIntyre as a serious champion. So you know how that go. Was it any more matches? And then we found out the women team at Survivor Series, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, and then they were having another match to determine the fifth and final member of Team Raw. And Lana won, so Lana is on Team Raw, and Nia Jax decided to do what she does best to Lana, drill her through a table once again and drop her down lane. So they're trying to wonder who's going to be team captain. I bet you it's going to be Lana. It shouldn't be, but it's going to be Lana. But there they go. And then finally was the 5-5 Funhouse, where Alexa Bliss did appear with Bray, and they looked like a Mad Hatter, like Alice in the Wonderland type theme. And then Alexa Bliss came and did her moment of bliss, and she welcomed the WWE champion Randy Orton. Randy Orton was kind of skeptical at first that Alexa was up to something. Randy was kind of a little bit, taken aback, but he told Alexa, by playing games with Bray. She probably Drew tried to get some, and Drew and Randy fighting back and forth in the ring. And all of a sudden, the Fiend appears. The Fiend scared Randy Orton for a minute. Randy kind of a little bit shocked and appalled. Randy runs and retrieves, and the feud escalates. The brawl escalates between him and McIntyre, and Randy Orton and McIntyre battling out, and the show ends. So we don't know what happened on the US feed, but on the Canadian feed, they said Drew took a pen and Randy's eye out. Gouged Randy's eye out. So we'll see how this all comes about, because Randy Orton has an important match in Survivor Series. He represents Raw as its WWE champion. Roman Reigns will represent SmackDown as Universal Champion. These two men have not met each other since 2016. Now it's full circle. Both of them world champions for their respective shows, respective brands. They battle out red versus blue. So we'll see at Survivor Series. Alright. That ends the Raw Report. That ends the Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Kendrick Diggs, saying so long, and we'll see you next week. Next week only, we'll see you for predicted outcome for AEW's Full Gear. I've been your host, Kendrick Diggs, saying so long. We'll see you next time. See you later.